Hi, I'm Dillon Cornelius, and you're watching From the Cape with Bass, hosted by Daniel Peterson.
Good day, everybody. Today we are with great bass player Dillon Cornelius. Dillon, how are you doing, man?
I'm good in you, man. Good to
Um,
see you. Nice
yeah,
to
likewise,
finally
man.
meet you.
Likewise. Nice to meet you. We're sitting in the Stellenbosch. What is it? Conservatorium.
Yeah, the Janash.
Okay, cool. Um, what's your first musical experience?
My first musical experience was in my household,
Okay.
where I used to hear gospel music play,
Mm,
and my father he has his own band, Faith Explosion, going on for more than 25 years already.
wow.
So I used to hear it a lot, but I never took notice or anything like that. So this one time, my daddy called me in and was like, "Hey man, play some drums," and I played, and I was like, "Oh, it's so nice to do this because you
You're
little and you
beating, you're
just
beating
you
the
just
pots.
beating the pots, but it's liquor."
Mm,
And then went to church and started playing there and with guitar and stuff. Started a new band called Ambassadors for Christ with my sister and her
Where is this?
friends.
This is in George.
George, yeah,
Okay, you originally from George.
from George, yeah.
Okay.
So we used to play drums or guitar, so on. So that's where my first musical experience was.
Why did you choose the bass guitar?
And never necessarily chose to play the bass guitar because it looked boring most of the time. Like
Mm,
the guitar player is always the one who's the cool one.
mm.
And then my dad, he's even still convincing me today, till this day, or he would say it every day, every time when I'm going home and I speak to him about this music stuff and bass playing. So he convinced me by telling me, "Hey man, look, why don't you play bass in my band?" Like, no, pops, man, I can play guitar. I was like, but there's only one bass player. I was like,
Mm,
so profound. But
makes
then I
sense.
started playing bass, and it's the best thing ever that happened to me.
So you love the low
I
notes.
love the
You
low
love the
notes.
low notes.
Yeah.
Okay, man. You studying in Stellenbosch at the University of Stellenbosch. What are you studying?
So we doing the diploma course, and I'm under the tutelage of Nina Forigos doing classical guitar, and did recorder also with Karen Maritz. So I don't um, do bass guitar
Mm,
whatsoever, but I've gotten a few lessons. My first bass guitar lesson was actually in 2020
okay.
during COVID time,
Wow.
which was actually a good time
Mm,
because the university gave us data. So I had to use that. I could use that data to get some online lessons with Professor Ron Mahdi from the Berklee College of Music.
okay.
And recently I gotten a few lessons on double bass with Professor Martin Zinker.
Yeah, at the university.
Yeah,
Okay.
sometimes if he comes back again, then I'll be on his case again. Look, man, I want
Okay.
the lesson,
Okay.
so I'll be
Okay.
on his case all the time.
Okay. So, tell me, have you worked on any albums, and who's the artist that you're working for?
Yeah, so in 2019, we had a band called the New Voice Sextet,
Okay.
and we were all about playing jazz music, but we've never had like someone came in who would work with us.
Mm,
So we were just like, okay, we're doing it for the love of music. We
yeah. Yeah.
don't care what anyone says. So then we decided, look here, guys, let's record our very own album with our own originals and stuff, which is called In Tune with the Infinite,
Okay.
with Mark Lintz on saxophone, David Jones drums, Millie Replaiki on piano, Iger Johannes on trumpet, and Brent January on guitar, and me on bass.
Okay.
And some artists I've worked with and
So
still
tell me,
work.
where is this album available
Yeah,
online
it's available on
on all
all
streaming
platforms.
platforms?
Yeah,
Okay, and there's hard copies as well.
these hard copies as well.
Okay.
And with art, regarding with artists, I've not worked with so many artists, but someone who opened the doors for me a lot was actually like three people was Lynette Peterson, Colette Coetzee, and Ramon Alexander.
Mm,
So I've worked with him, and last year I did a gig with Ramon, which featured Annemie Nial on drums, and Byron Abrams on
mm.
saxophone, and Monique Hermans on trumpet
Okay,
at the
nice.
Moss Jazz.
Okay.
So, but working with Martin Zenker them was also, but he didn't play, but he was like guiding us how to
Yeah, yeah.
play this type of music, and Pascal Haas and all this Miss Felicia Les
Okay, nice.
people also.
Wow, wow, interesting, man. So tell me about the gear that you're using.
No, this is my beauty, my Saxon bass, like a old 70s bass. I got it actually.
It's heavy. It's quite heavy.
It's quite heavy. Yeah, it's probably the old brand maker. I don't
Mm.
know. So I got it from my recorder lecturer. She told me, "Look here, I have a bass there. Don't you want to test it out for me?" I was like, "Okay, ma'am." I was like, "Yeah, you play bass." So I tested it. I was like, "Nothing's wrong with this bass." So I went back there. I was like, "Ma'am, just your bass. Nothing's wrong." She was like, "No, you keep it."
Wow,
And I
that's so
was
cool.
like, so confused. And she told me, "No, I'd rather just give it to someone who I see the potential." And I was like, "Oh man, thank you for this blessing." And I've always wanted to play a four string because I saw some Jack go them and
Okay.
those Owens. That's why I always wanted the four string. So I used to play a
Mm.
chord five string, and yeah, and my bass amp it's a triple A, so it's a 515, which
Mm.
is quite from the 90s, I
Oh,
think.
is this the Ashdown?
Yeah, the Ashdown. Yeah.
Okay, nice, 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 nice. Do you have any advice for young up and coming bass players and musicians out there?
Yeah, it's probably mostly for musicians. And the one thing I can say for bass player is learn as many music as
As much as you
as much
can.
as you can.
Mm.
And I'm not talking regarding with only one genre, so I'm talking about beyond. So you get jazz, you get pop stuff,
Mm.
you
Did you
know.
just say Beyonce?
No, beyond,
Oh,
beyond.
beyond.
So you get jazz, you get pop, you get fusion, you get
Yeah, yeah.
different kinds of music, man. So
Mm.
you never know who's going to ask you to play for them. So I recently got asked by a band called Splinter
Okay.
to come play some rock and roll, and I was like, how do I do this? And then I went there and I started playing my jazzy way, and this guy David told me, hey man, I know you can play, but
You don't need that.
just play simple as you can. I was like, what do you mean? I was like, just play as simple as you can. I'm paying you for this. Why do you wanna waste our time? I'm like, okay. And so learn as many stuff as you can. And last year in the Grahamstown Jazz Festival, we usually have like auditions for youth band.
Yeah.
So it's a good experience. So now the conductor for last year was Manhlam Mhlangeni, great
Okay.
trumpeter and composer. So he gave us music like 2 weeks before, but the music is not on the internet whatsoever.
Mm.
So I was like, oh man, how do I learn this music with? But I never went through it, and when I got there, I got this piece. I was sight reading the pieces, and then I got this piece that's in 7/4, which threw me out. And he was like, "You know what you did? You messed up the time. You can go sit down." I was like, "Oh, look at this man." After that, he told me, "Look here, man. As a musician, you always have to be prepared."
Yeah.
So that's the other thing. And
Well, that's very insightful what you said now, like telling your story, and it's like I hope somebody out there listens. You have to be prepared, you
you
know.
have to be prepared. Always be prepared as
Uh,
best as you can. And there's one thing Martin Zinker told us: look here, you have to work with people that is better than you.
yeah,
You
yeah.
cannot stay in that position where you are because Ramon usually says a musician that's comfortable is in big trouble.
Mm.
So working with musicians that is better than you will boost your
Elevate you to the next
elevate to
level.
the next level. And Miss Lynette Peterson usually says never let your ego get in the way of your teaching
Creativity
or
or
your
something.
creativity
Uh-huh.
or something like that. Never
Uh-huh.
let don't let your ego stand in the way of your development.
Okay.
That's what she normally says. And for all musicians, I know not everyone wants to learn how to read music,
Mm.
but you just have to be in this new world, modern day. You just have to be able to
Mm.
do sight reading and whatsoever. You don't have to be the best at it, but just
It's gonna
try
help.
and
It's gonna help.
yeah, it's gonna help you. And maybe it's just a simple baseline whole time, but you don't know it because you cannot read music.
Mm.
So I think it's a good idea to just like spend your time in that and always practice with the metronome.
Uh, the metronome is your friend.
Metronome's best friend, yeah.
Dylan, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much,
mate.
man.
Thank you for making time from the Cape Base. Godspeed on your journey, man, and thank you for the insightful information and invaluable information that you gave me, and to the viewer out there. Thank you so much. God bless you on your journey.
Thank you, man. You too, man.
Thank you. Thank you for liking and sharing this video with your family and friends. Please follow From the Cape with Bass on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Thank you so much.